Welcome to Dining Undressed with LA Saints. I'm your host, Julie Tran Picker, and I'm going to fill you in on a little secret. Good wine and champagne doesn't have to break the bank. Best of all, anyone can learn to pick and enjoy choice wines with help from Wine Expo.
Okay, Julie, we're going to show you around here at Wine Expo. Julie, as you know, our store is known for Italian wines. We go to Italy every year. We go to Italy. We go out and visit vineyards. And we intentionally approach very small wineries that have never been in the U.S. market. It's a very personal business. Like here's our friend Cosimo from Paolo, who makes fantastic wines in Cutrufano, Puglia. We try to keep it very personal and bring really small and distinct and interesting wines that most people aren't seeing in most other stores. Here we have our white wine section, which is maybe 1/5 of the store. Which is kind of a shame because there really is a lot of good white wine, and there's lots more styles of white wine to try besides big oaky Chardonnays and sweet Rieslings.
Tell us more about the dessert wines you carry here.
Okay, we have a large range of things. We have fortified wines from traditional places like Port and Marsala and Sherry and Madeira. Over here, we have dessert wines from Italy. There are something like 200,000 wineries in Italy, and every one of them makes some little thing made out of dried grapes that's really only for their private guests and not really commercialized. We've managed to talk quite a few of them out of things like that by going to the wineries and becoming friends with them. So we have a lot of things here that you can never get commercially outside of maybe just right at the winery. One thing we're really famous for is our champagne selection, which is probably the largest in the nation. When we decided what are we going to do with this store, we looked around at what other people were doing. And what other people were doing was selling mostly French wine, mostly California wine, and only the big brand name champagnes. So we saw a niche is that nobody was selling grower champagnes, nobody was selling higher quality or smaller producer champagnes. We decided to only sell those.
Tell us more about how these champagnes are different from the typical commercial ones we see in the stores.
Okay, the big brands are just that. They're brands, and all of them except for Bollinger are now owned by giant liquor companies or worse yet, perfume companies. For instance, Louis Vuitton / Moet Hennessy owns Veuve Clicquot, Krug, Moet, a whole bunch of things. Here's the big secret. Most of the big houses that you see, the Moets, the Tattinger, all that, they're buying in grapes from all over a huge region and they're blending it together so every bottle always tastes the same. Very boring. We sell guys who are, you know, my farm is here, your farm is over there. They're in different villages, most of which have been ranked by the government, not by the wineries, by the Department of Agriculture of France and the AOC certification board as being Grand Cru, as being the best possible place to grow champagne. Over here we have Auger and Cremant, which are very famous for Chardonnay, with Auger being really light and crisp and citrusy and minerally, very deep chalk soil, and Cremant being richer and fuller and more kind of golden apple type flavors. Over this way we have Bouzy and Ambonnet, where they grow red grapes, mostly Pinot Noir, some Pinot Meunier. And then there are also numerous other ones with great names like Ludes and Bouzy and Dizzy. There's 15 different Grand Cru vineyards. For those of you who haven't gone to Hollywood and actually go to a barbershop instead of a stylist, you might have seen a sign that says 4 chairs, no waiting. Well, we have 4 doors of champagne, no waiting. You can be on your way to a party, and we have literally 250 labels of champagnes and sparkling wines cold every day, 9 a.m.
Wait a minute. You're missing Veuve Clicquot, and what about Mum or Moet?
Well, you know, if you live in the right neighborhood, you can get those at the 7-Eleven, and if they're not there, you can run down to the local Albertsons. We try to bring something truly unique to Los Angeles market, and also we service the nation from here. Each one of these labels you see, the guy whose name is on the label, he grew those grapes, he made that wine. It's an actual winery. It's not part of some big industrial cog that belongs to a handbag company.
I hope you enjoyed this look at the treasure trove here inside Wine Expo. If this visit inspired you, then come visit and let Roberto introduce you to the wonderful world of wine and champagne.